Click the links, join the channel here over at Subscribestar. So the thing about the MarySue, and as I start to say this, I don't know if I can say. Here's the thing with chicks, in case you're unfamiliar. Yikes, my guy! Touch some grass and put your finger in a woman. It's like the MarySue reminds me of when you're younger and you don't know how to deal with a girlfriend having PMS, and it's like they can become kind of brittle and glassy, where they can snip and snap at you for every little thing, and then just break down into tears and everything. Like every little thing is going to result in tears, and you just have to kind of get used to that. When you're young, it's just something new. But the MarySue is they write so many articles. They have like over a dozen women writing these articles. It's funny, you think of the MarySue as a bunch of women sitting around in a kitchen came up with this thing and started this company. It's like no, it was corporate right from the start. The Abramovich Group hired was this publishing house that has a bunch of these kind of things. They just hired a bunch of women in this, like, this is it's an AstroTurf type of news magazine that kind of looks like, it kind of vaguely gives you the feeling like you think, oh, I thought, like, I was thinking like Glassman, Leishman, and Steiner were sitting around in their kitchen thinking, oh, well, why don't we come up with this magazine? It's like, no, it was always some corporate entity right from the start. The Abramovich Group founded it, hired these chicks, and then they sold the MarySue to some other publishing company. It's like it's all fake all along, as most of these things are. And you look at like Steiner, Leishman, and Glassman. You go, you guys could have just got together and, like, there's nothing keeping you to this corporate form known as the MarySue. It's corporate right from the start. You can just get together and form your own, the exact same magazine. It's like you don't have to be beholden to this corporate entity. And like they're so anti the man. It's like, yeah, you're just subsidiary of CNN by now. Anyway, so the MarySue thing. Oh, the point was that is like you're always gonna get one of these chicks who's during that awkward time where they're very, very cranky, that kind of thing. And there should be a man in charge as an editor to be the voice of reason. The cooler heads will prevail and say, okay, listen, during this time, you can write all the articles during this 2-day period or 1-day period when you're kind of weird, and we're just going to incinerate them. But you can write them fine, just toss them into the incinerator, and then when you're back to normal, you can go back to writing your normal nonsense articles. But like there's always going to be a time period of the MarySue where there's somebody writing this kind of insane article, and you look at them and go like, either your medication is not adjusted or something is very wrong with these people. So the MarySue needs to touch grass. Yikes, friend. Go outside, put your finger in someone. Because of a poster triggers the MarySue for some reason. Like, you guys really will just kvetch about every little thing, won't you? So it shows these flat-chested, asexual women, and then there's some other posters that show them in passive and what they feel is subservient positions. I'll show you the pictures in a minute, but isn't that all subjective? And if the thing is, if it's a passive, subservient position, it's like, okay, that's a good thing. That's starting to return to normalcy, because that's probably what people want to see. And, by now, you got to kind of be aware that Hollywood doesn't care what the audience wants. They're there to push this globalist agenda, even if it costs them money. So Hollywood needs some diversity of thought. Here, I don't know if I can say this next thing because it's probably hate speech, but women are not equal to men because they're not men. They have different roles to fulfill. They literally have different anatomy for a reason. Every cell of your body, right? The DNA doesn't lie. The skeletal structure, the hip geometry. Why do you think it's there for a reason? You got 500 million years of a sexual binary. Yikes, my guy. Trust the science. Oh, not that science. No, don't trust 500 million years. Trust the past 115 years when the Bolsheviks started up. No, that's patently absurd. Why would we trust these alcoholics who came up with this philosophy? Moses Mordecai Levy and the rest who came up with this insane philosophy. Clearly, they're crazy, crazy people. And everything they write is just absolute insanity for midwits and left of the bell curve useful idiots. No, but the communist dialectic predicts. Yeah, I'm familiar with what happened under Russia. Well-fertilized fields is what happened. So women are not men. Eventually, that will be in Canada. They're trying to make that hate speech. Yes, seriously, they're trying to make protesting outside of, I think, the story hour type of things. If you're within 100 meters of one of these type of things, they want to ban it. We're just getting so close to popping off. So men and women have different roles to fulfill. Men carry the seed and women bear the young. Those are the general. Well, not every single occurrence. These are the general rules. So what the MarySue is showing is that they will whine about anything good, anything pure and beautiful, which is fine, because accelerationism is going to be the key to destroying Hollywood. Make everything as woke and cringy as possible. So the Twitter SJW, yeah, I can always hear you. Yeah, because you're right. I can already hear you groaning because you're an idiot who's saying stupid things on the internet that you're paid, I don't know, $200 to churn out these articles, and they just churn out as many. Like, these people don't just write for the MarySue, they write for a bunch of other magazines, and just churn out as many of these type of articles as they possibly can. Which honestly, I think I'd probably be good at it because I think I know SJWs better than they know themselves. Probably because I know more history of the Bolshevism than these actual useful idiots do. So accelerationism is going to be the path instead of trying to fight this kind of stuff. So the Twitter SJW kids say that they want these silly themes in films. They don't. They're lying. They really, I only say that because they don't financially support all these kind of woke movies that have come out over the past 10 to 15 years. Those movies underperform or they flat out bomb. They say they want the movies, but they don't financially support the movies. They want someone else to financially support it. I mean, it kind of really paid attention to 2015 Star Wars, which actually, in his credit, did do well, but it kind of started the decline of Star Wars Disney. But then 2016 Ghostbusters was the thing that really caught everyone's attention because it was so friggin' weird. And then they just went off from there. And like the Charlie's Angels is a great example of Elizabeth Banks saying one thing and then the movie fails and then she says another thing and blames the advertisers. It's like, wait a minute, Banks, you came out before the movie and said all this kind of nonsense. And then you're saying, like, you didn't say this same kind of not whatever. It's so frustrating to deal with these idiots. Thing is, what do people want? What do even the Twitter SJW kids really want? Oh, we want obese poxwalks, furry otherkin, lesbians kissing in the background. No. You actually don't want that because you don't pay for those movies. What do you really want? What do you really want? Truth serum time. What do you really want? We want beautiful blonde Nordic types just running, hot blonde chicks running around just being beautiful, like the chicks from some Budweiser commercial in the 80s, the Swedish bikini team with the hair so blonde it's white type of hair. That's what people want, that angelic version of beauty. Everyone really wants a 1980s James Bond type of film where you have the hot, sexy blondes who are skiing down the mountains and they're jumping over rooftops and being chased by Russians, and he hops in a Jaguar and he escapes down the mountain. I mean, you've seen that movie either in the original movies themselves or parodies of those movies. And drives Jaguar down the mountain. He's got smoke shields and ejection seats and rockets pop up from the pop-up headlights, all kinds of nonsense. But it's got like all kinds of hot, sexy, beautiful people running around. That's what everyone wants. Like these impossibly cool people doing impossibly cool stunts where they're skiing over a rooftop. Yeah, we want where he loses a ski and has to do it on one ski and with a submachine gun and he's turned around. It's like just all these kind of nonsense stuff. It's like, yeah, that was peak Hollywood about 1980. Thing is, nobody actually wants diversity. They say they do, but then they don't pay for it. That means they don't actually want it. They want the idea of it, but they don't want to pay for it. It's like same thing happened with comics. They go, oh, women read so many, half of comics are read by women. You go, yeah, that's a quick, it's a clever little bit of, I don't know, wordplay there. What percentage of women buy the comics? Oh, 3%. Okay, well, that's the relevant and probative part. The women who get hand-me-down comics for free, like sisters who get the stuff for free, that's not relevant because they didn't pay for it. The boys paid for it. And you knew that, and you're lying to us because you're these filthy commies at Disney. Anyway, nobody wants diversity. They say they do. They enjoy virtue signaling about it on social media, but that's about it. Let me click to this thing. And here it is. And let's get these subservient passive roles. It's like, if that's what you think subservience is. The thing is, most people do want subservient chicks in films. It's very sexy. This is where the non-pussy enjoying 300-pound soy boys tell you how much they love being bent over by strong women. Hey, soy boys, those aren't women. The rest of us actually want women to be women. And it's okay to show them in a subservient role. That's the natural role in most of the world because evolution. But the globalists in the West feel comfortable imposing their beliefs on other people, except they get real quiet when it's time to celebrate burning articles of clothing around the world that represent unpaid servitude, or human rights abuses in China, Middle East, Africa, and the rest of the non-Western world. For some reason, they don't talk so loud about child marriage in Africa. Weird. But they say they want diverse, obese, pox, walks, whatever, but they don't pay for those movies. Now, here's the thing. Get on Twitter and stop complaining. By this, I mean turn it around and step on the gas. Demand more BLT Budweiser, Jack Daniels, and more obese BLT Otherkin in all the movies. And then the next part of the equation is you demand all this stuff, right? And then you just don't go pay to see the movies. That's key. You ask for all this woke garbage, and then you don't pay to see it. Listen, if you want to go sailing, that's what VPNs and Tors and all that kind of stuff is for. You can go that route. Get a couple external hard drives, these proxies and Tors and anonymizers, and get whatever you need to see. And you don't actually support it, but you demand it. We need more obese, trans, furry, otherkin, hermaphrodite, space aliens in movies who are lecturing us on how much they hate European people. Yeah, that's what we want to see. Are you going to pay for it? Oh, absolutely not. I will go sail high seas for it, watch a few minutes of it, and laugh about it. Demand that everything be non-white and BLT plus double plus good think. Stop trying to resist them. It's absolutely pointless to be like, oh, the Chads on the Geeks and Gamers, and they're always so triggered by it. Ryan Cannell, Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic. There's a couple others. Those are and Yellow Flash, and there's like these really piss them off. This is going to outrage the Chad YouTubers. So that, those guys make hundreds of thousands of dollars with those channels, right? They can get on there and talk about some stupid Guardians movie, and those videos, like they can make a video, might make, if they're lucky, $10,000 if it's a huge video, and then a super chat's like, those channels make a ton of money doing this, and the kids who whine about those channels on Twitter, you look at them and like, so this guy, he's he made $227,000 on his YouTube channel last year, doing something he enjoys doing, and you're on Twitter. And it's actually costing you money to complain about this stuff on Twitter. You're not making anything on Twitter. You're bringing him a little bit of attention, and you're calling him some kind of YouTube Chad who's so outraged. It's like, yeah, but he made a video, and that video made $1,700, and it's like a 5-minute video. And you're on Twitter whining about that. And you look at the kids on Twitter who are doing this. You guys, why don't you guys get YouTube videos where you talk about how much you love these movies? And that's the problem for a lot of them, is because they don't love the movies. Because they're not good movies. I mean, objectively, they're just dog shit movies. So they don't love them, but they hate that you don't love them. And that triggers it for some reason. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys all next episode.